Ian, absolutely. On this show we've talked about the danger unit markets as being, first of all, Melbourne, followed by Brisbane. And while Brisbane doesn't have quite the building going on, as does Melbourne, it also doesn't have the population or the foreign investment there available to buy what they are building. How do you think that market's going to fare?
Look, I'm not too sure on the details of how Brisbane will fare, but I know the one that we've been watching most closely, over some time is Melbourne, and it is the supply side. The supply of property does take time to come to market, and usually by the time it comes, the market's changed. So you can actually, developers are always there looking to preempt where the market may be from when they start to when supply comes. Melbourne's got massive supply, and that'll be the interesting one to really watch.
I think, Damien, the other problem with the unit market in both Brisbane and Melbourne is that not only is there more supply coming on board than there is demand, but because so many of them are sold off the plan, they're sold at prices that don't necessarily bear any relationship to the market value. And so they're creating their own markets, if you know what I mean. We've got developers who are pricing these properties against other developers who are pricing their properties, and not a lot of resales in any of the markets to compare against. So people are paying whatever price they're putting on them, and the market isn't tested yet. But all of a sudden, with such a big oversupply, that market is going to be suddenly tested. There'll be a dumping. And if any of this expectation of what's going to happen with the economy in China bears true, there's around about a 50-50 expectation that China, in response to their own economy, will tighten up the capacity of their Chinese nationals to take money out of China. So they'll start limiting the amount of withdrawals out of China to put into markets like Australia. Then that demand could dry up even more very suddenly, leaving us with properties that are dumped very quickly.
And just on that topic, we've heard stories that it is a lot harder to get money out of China for people wanting to settle in Australia. So I think Angie's on the money, certainly in terms of Brisbane. I wouldn't say it's going to be worse than Melbourne, but certainly I see it as being an issue there. Again, it's always that we never, as a buyer's agent, we just don't buy inner city apartments right in that central CBD, because the big towers, they can put lots of supply up, and that's where developers focus. And always, that's where you see the excess supply of apartments in that near city area. Sometimes the suburban ones can be okay if they're near good infrastructure and in a low-rise complex, but the city ones we just don't touch.
Yeah, it's that supply and demand equation again, isn't it? So the supply there, and if they cut off the demand from overseas investors, then markets can do what they do.
And we certainly advise our clients against buying those inner city apartments as well. As Damien says, it's fine to buy a unit or an apartment somewhere as long as you've confirmed a really good amount of demand for it, and as long as you're not competing against hundreds and hundreds of others.
Well, off the plan, always you're taking that punt on what the value will be when it comes time to settle, which can be a win or not.
And more often it's a no. So thank you for tuning in tonight.